All right, let's do it. Let's go live.
Yes, live it is. Let me see if I can find you on Instagram too, so we can get everyone.
All right, good morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's Intuitive Tuesday. I am super excited to welcome my guest. I just want to make sure that we are directed to Facebook. There we go, and live on Instagram. So good morning, and Intuitive Tuesday. I am super excited to welcome. There we go. So welcome. Let me just make sure that we are. There we go. All right. So if you can connect to Instagram, and then we'll jump on there as well.
I will, absolutely. Okay, let's see. I'm also simultaneously trying to share on my Facebook. Trying to get all fancy on. Okay, here we go. Let's see, I have your link right here. Instagram. I do. All right,
good morning. Good morning on Instagram. Good morning on Facebook. Welcome to this week's Intuitive Tuesday. I am really excited to welcome my special guest, relationship expert, Samantha Kaaua. How do you pronounce your last name? Kaaua?
Kaaua.
Kaaua. All right. Samantha is an author, speaker, licensed marriage therapist, inner mosaic coach, and founder of the Gems with Samantha Kaaua. An international coaching and training company focused on helping women to overcome their biggest blocks and unlock their greatest potential. In 2021, Samantha co-authored the book Short, Sweet, and Sacred that became an international #1 bestseller on Amazon. She has been recognized as a leading expert on relationships and is on a mission to help restore trust and faith in the world. When Samantha is not busy helping self-employed women learn how to live a balanced life and become their best self, she enjoys spending time with her incredibly supportive husband in Denver and 3 amazing daughters. Welcome to Intuitive Tuesday.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be here.
I am super excited to have you here. So I just want to say good morning to everybody on Instagram. Good morning to everybody on Facebook. And let's get you on to Instagram. So if you're following the live, then say hi, and then I can bring you on here as well.
Okay, 1 second. My dog wanted to say hi for some reason. Hold on.
Good morning, Jody. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, Kim. We're going to be diving into relationships. And I think this is such an important topic, especially as we've headed into 2022 and taking a look at our relationships, taking a look at our relationships with business, as well as in our homes. All right, so Samantha, there we go. Are you there on Facebook or on Zoom? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm just trying to mute myself. I can still hear feedback on your end too, though. On Instagram. Is that? Am I okay now?
Sounds good to me. Sounds good.
Okay.
All righty. So I always like to ask when my guests, how has your intuition guided you on your path, on your spiritual path and on your business path? How have you been guided?
Oh, that's such a great question. My spiritual path.
And in your business, like how has your intuition guided you along the way?
Yeah, okay. It's funny because I think early on, I was such a cognitive person. So I led with my logical mind in many ways, right? I was type A, perfectionist, always looking to logic. And it wasn't until I found myself at rock bottom that I needed to look at something other than the facts, other than things around me. So my intuition now is such a important component to my entire life, business, personal. Every decision that I make really starts with my intuition. It starts from that place of knowing, and I always check in there before I make even financial decisions, business decisions, relationship decisions, all of the above. Yeah.
Nice. And how were you led to become a relationship therapist?
Well, I was always someone who, sorry, I'm hearing feedback. So if I sound funny, it's because I can hear my echo.
Okay.
I think I hear it on
you can turn your volume down on your computer, is what I do.
Oh, okay. I hear it from your side of the, here, I'll do that. There. Okay, maybe I won't hear my echo anymore.
Okay, so and you guys on Facebook and on Instagram, let us know if you're hearing a lot of feedback. I don't hear it today. Sometimes I do, but today it sounds pretty good.
It
on
sounds
my
okay
end.
On your end?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, let me know how I don't know how else to best not get that. Ask me the question one more time. Sorry.
Yeah, like how were you guided to doing what you're doing right now? Like your background is
in relationships. Yes, as a relationship expert. Well, I was always somebody who listened, right? Like I was the go-to person for people to go to with their problems. So naturally I was always a listener. I tried to resist it for a little bit and wanted to go into animal science. But I soon came to my senses and said, okay, I've been listening to people my whole life. Like, why not make a career of this? This is something that I'm good at. This is something I love to support people in. And so I went into therapy, right? I became a marriage and family therapist. To be quite honest, I think the universe guided me into the marriage and family therapy program because I actually applied for the psychology program, but didn't get in because my GPA was like 0.02 off.
right?
And they said, why not try for the marriage and family master's degree? And I was like, okay, sure. So I interviewed for that, and it was so divine. It was such a perfect program for me. I figured out that this is exactly what I wanted to do. And on top of like the professional just path to getting there, I too went through relationship challenges my whole life, coming from divorced parents. Before I was even one, they were divorced, and then navigating just relationship challenge after relationship challenge. And even almost, getting a divorce a few years back with my husband allowed me to gain this personal experience in relationships, not just the professional side. So I can't give credit other than just divine intervention into getting into the field that I'm in.
Yeah, and that's how it works, right? That's how it works. All right, so we're really excited for you to be here to help do intuitive card readings. So if you're while you're watching live, put in the comments body, mind, or spirit, and then Samantha and I are going to draw you cards, and together we're going to bring it together. And if you have any relationship questions, if you have any any questions or any challenges that you're facing right now, any input around relationships that you want support with through the card readings, then put that in the comments as well. I'm going to start us with a bit of a meditation, a grounding to bring us into the space. But if you don't have anything specific for relationships, just put in body, mind, or spirit, because we have a relationship with our body, a relationship with our mind, and a relationship with our source, right? Our spirit. So we can definitely bring that all together there. So let's just start with a deep breath, closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. and just really allowing yourself to arrive into this space. With Samantha, who's in Hawaii, and myself, who's in Alberta, Canada, and wherever you are, it's just making this connection, creating this circle. And I always say that what I do affects you, what you do affects me, because we're all connected, we're all one. And so when we look at this, when we dive into this with our relationships, what are we doing that is attracting the different types of relationships? What are the lessons that we need to learn through our relationships? How do our relationships help us to grow and expand? And then even the relationships that you have with your business, not just your clients, but your support, your team. Or maybe you need to increase your team to get a relationship to help support you with your spiritual vision and your business. So let's just take a breath into that, bringing your hands onto your heart chakra. And let's just take a breath into your relationships at home, in business, in the world. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And one of the things that I'm really feeling right now is that there's so much separation in relationships. They become online relationships. And though those are still powerful relationships, they're not the same as when we used to get together live, when we used to be together live. So even that makes it even more important than ever, right? To dive into and talk about our relationships. Alrighty, so I'm going to knock the cards and start shuffling them and see what we have. So Kim would like a card for body, please. So let's get started. Kim, 3-part breath. So the words on the bottom of the cards are relax and de-stress. And I lost it. Was it for body, wasn't it? Yes, for body. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be combining the word, like for the body, the words are de-stress and relax, and then combining it with relationship with our body, relationships in general. And do you want to go first? What might be coming to you?
I see. So 3-part, relax, and what was the other word? De-stress.
De-stress.
Yeah, one of the teachings that I use often is my inner mosaic method, and part of that method is to connect with your body, right? Our relationship with our body is one of the most important relationships, especially when it comes to your intuition. I feel like our body is such an intelligent system, and it really gives us the signs and signals that we sometimes miss by the universe in other ways. So I think that relaxing, really decompressing, allowing our body to enter into its natural state, to receive the most subtle signals and pings from the universe is so key to living an abundant, expansive life. That's really what's coming through for me.
Yeah, and that our body, I teach that when we're getting intuitive hits, that there's a physical reaction. There's no separation between body, mind, and spirit. And that sometimes we have intentions that we're going to, start the new year, with a bang, and we're going to take off, and then something happens and we have to take that step back. For those of you that are watching who know me, I just found out yesterday that I have COVID. And so I had craziest sleep last night. I'm here today, but yeah, I was planning to step into 2022 as this powerhouse. Let's go, let's make things happen. And now I'm clearing my schedule for the rest of the week because I just am not physically up to it. So really taking a look at that, Kim, how we have the best intentions, right? And then the universe steps in and says, maybe you need to slow down. Maybe you need to really go in and hear the messages that are within you. And I can contest to that because it was like, whoa, what's happening here? All right, thanks, Kim. All right, let me just take a look on Instagram. Good morning, Val. Good morning, Megs. Good morning, Nikki. Nikki said, good morning, beautiful leader. Love that. Cheer for Share asked for a card for body as well. So let me give the cards a little shuffle. And one of the things that I found, I also wanted to talk to you about, Samantha, is languaging. One of the things that I found so interesting about you and I is our languaging is so similar. Like we didn't know each other at all. And then our languaging is so similar. It's kind of freaky, right?
Very
Did
close.
you think it was kind of freaky? Like it was
it was really cool.
Yeah, like even like we call our clarity calls, we both called them complimentary clarity calls. And there was just so much that we find similar, like that our languaging is so similar. And I don't know if you've ever read that book, Big Magic, where she talks about like the universe gives out ideas and then certain people pick up on them, right? And it's like you and I are aligned with the same vibration and just really are picking up with that same vibration. So what's your take on that, on languaging?
Oh, well, I mean, I always said my words are one of my superpowers because I can cut someone down to shreds, or I can build someone up. And I think there's so much power in words. I used to use words so carelessly and didn't think that it held weight, but I know now that each word holds a different frequency. And even though in the dictionary it can have a similar definition, in our, like, the way that again, I'm going to go back to relationships, the way that we relate to each word will absolutely affect our frequency. It will impact the way that we're vibrating in the world. So I'm very mindful now of choosing the words and language and all of those things very mindfully, because with intention. Because it really affects, I guess, my frequency and my vibration and the way that I'm showing up in the world. So I think language is so, it's just amazing how it's just another form of frequency. It's just another vibrational frequency that we're putting out into the world. So just like how we want to be mindful of our emotions and what we're putting out energetically, I also say that our words are just as powerful of a frequency.
Very cool. All right, Cheer for Share is body card. Okay, so this is the yamas. So this is one of Patanjali's 8 limbs of yogas, and it's the way that it's one of our codes for living, our social guidelines for living as in the world, right? And the words are non-violence, truthfulness, non-stealing, moderation, non-grasping. So I know I do a lot of value work, and so this is really connecting to our values and living our lives following our values, running our businesses following our values. And so bringing this together with body, relationships, it's a big card. So what's your first takeaway? Did you get like an intuitive hit on this for Share?
Yeah, the intuitive hit I got, especially because we're talking about body, is the thing that came through for me is our nervous system. So our nervous system, again, I mean, we're going back to a similar message I shared on the last card, but ultimately our nervous system, the central nervous system, is so important to stay in alignment with, right? Because it can shake us up or it can calm us down. So I know that, like, going to my breath, being mindful of my nervous system and how it's responding to circumstance, situation, or condition helps me to stay in my highest truth. So my relationship with my nervous system, let alone my body, like I basically know that when I start breathing shallow,
Mhm.
my heart starts to race, that my nervous system is being triggered, right?
Mhm.
Your sympathetic nervous system is on fire,
Mhm.
and I can use my breath to calm myself back down so that I can regain control over my nervous system and tell myself that I'm safe, right?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah, and I think that's perfect, because she wanted a body card is just that deep breath. I remember when I was first teaching, traveling around teaching my workshop, and I said, you know how your mother always tells you to take a deep breath? And I had somebody come up to me at the end of the workshop and said, my mother never told me that. And I thought
Oh,
everybody's mother told them that. And so it was just
yeah.
that reminder that, yeah, we just need to take a deep breath. Like, and it just is the quickest way to relax our central nervous system. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Okay, so good morning, Wendy. Wendy's Anderson is on here, and she says,
Oh, hi,
two
Wendy.
incredible women. Love it. I love it too.
Oh, thank
All
you.
right.
And I apologize, my on my Instagram, it's like funky view. I'm also like in transit of selling my home, so I'm like in a cluttered space in my grandmother's house. So we like threw everything in trash bags, and
Oh, wow.
so don't mind my background on Instagram because you can see like there's like a lot of mess back there
No,
because we're in the middle of the move.
I think that's a thing that we need to acknowledge as business women, as entrepreneurs, is that we just make it work. I have COVID, you're
Yes.
in your grandma's house, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
this is what we do, is that we just show up because we're showing up
Yeah.
for you, our clients, and and our people that are watching, and we're just going to do it however we can today.
Yes,
Um,
perfectly imperfect is how we
Perfectly
do
imperfect. Exactly.
it.
Exactly. All right. We have another Kim DeShane. Would love a card for spirit. All right. Plow.
Ooh,
And the words are slow and steady. So this is like plow, like she's planted the seeds and she's growing her business. What's coming
wow.
to you?
And for, sorry, you said intuition. Is that what it was?
Spirit.
Spirit, spirit.
Spirit
Okay.
card. And relationship with spirit.
Yeah, when you said something about seeds, right? Like really planting the seeds and sowing the seeds, what comes through for me with spirit is that I've learned from one of my mentors. She talks about how well, and this comes out of the Bible actually, but I'm not religious, but we use spiritual teachings from all over the place. And one of the things that it says in there is that you can plant a seed in one, in one field and harvest it in another. And I think it's really going back to trusting your source, trusting the spirit, the guidance from within you, that you are taken care of. You live in an abundant universe, that everything is happening for your highest and best good. That's really what's coming through for me when you said plow and seeds and coming from the spirit. And the relationship with that is, again, is trusting your higher self as your guiding light, that wherever you're planting the seed, no matter if it's sowed there, right? No matter if you're reaping the reward or the benefits from that particular field, it really doesn't matter, right?
Mhm.
Abundance is abundance. And where we're receiving things back is irrelevant. So just being open to that from a spiritual
I love that.
perspective.
I feel like I'm really curious to get your takeaway, Kim. So put in in the chat your takeaway, because I love that you can plant the seed one place and you can harvest it somewhere else. Um, because what that's saying is that our we can trusting that we're going to be guided by spirit and not getting so stuck or so in our expectations, our ideas of what it should look like, how it should be
Mhm.
harvested, that it should be harvested in this field, but actually we can harvest it in another field. I think that's amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Megs on Instagram, Megs M77. And before anybody has to start to jump off, I wanted to invite you all to my next free masterclass. It's on the flow into action, flow into inspired action. It's next Tuesday at noon Mountain Time, and it's a free. So the link will be in my bio on Instagram. Instagram right after this. And on Facebook, it is in the comments or the description of this chat. So sign up for free. It's a masterclass on moving with inspired action, that we're in different phases in our life at all times. We're either in a meditation phase, which is what we kind of refer to with Kim. We can be in the intuition phase where we're really getting the downloads, planting the seeds, which we talked to the other Kim about. And then we go into inspired action, but doing it in the feminine energy as opposed to the masculine energy of pushing ourselves into overwhelm and all of that. So please join me for that next masterclass. And let's do Meg's spirit. Tree pose, forethought and patience. Lots of planting, lots of seeds. This is the perfect, lots of Capricorn energy, really, which is so perfect for, we're in Capricorn season and it's the beginning of 2022. So what's your take on this? Forethought and patience are the words.
Forethought and patience. What was her pick? It's not letting me scroll.
Spirit.
It was spirit, forethought and patience. Oh, the first thing that downloads for me is spirit always has a sense of humor, right? And one of the many teachings of spirit is patience, right? Is being not just patient, but I think in alignment with that is trust. Again, I'm going back to this trust. And trusting that everything's happening in divine timing. I know that when I find myself getting impatient with the universe, with spirit, with my guidance system, it's like, why isn't it happening quicker? When I push that pause button and I trust spirit again, and I go back to that place of faith, the overarching version of faith, it allows like the miracles are like right around the corner. So I guess what the card is really saying is like miracles are right around the corner. Just be patient, like settle into it, let go, release, and that will always allow for more abundance to flow into your life.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and that again, the seeds are planted, and sometimes we have periods of really growth, and sometimes we have periods of slowing down. So I see Samantha was booted out of Instagram.
Oh,
you might want to come back and watch the replay.
There we
go. Let me see if I can get you back on here. Where are you? Yeah,
I don't. It might be my internet connection that kicked me out.
Here, I'll bring you back on and see if it'll let us do that. Yeah, so Meg's M77, you might want to come back and watch the replay.
Sorry.
That was awesome. All right, Vicky, body. How much time do you have? Do you have another 50? I know it's super early where you are.
Yeah, no, I have time.
Okay, because we have lots of people on here and it's amazing. All right, Vicky, body. Niyamas. So we are getting the yamas, and then now these are the niyamas. And so this is, again, Patanjali's, part of Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga. And the words are cleanliness, contentment, discipline, self-study, and devotion. And it's setting up our positive environment so that we can stay connected to the relationship with our body. And so it's diving into that. So I'm going to let you go right away with what might be coming up for you with this card.
Sure. Can you read the words again? Cleanliness. What was the other ones?
Cleanliness, contentment, discipline, self-study, and devotion.
Yeah. One of the things on my journey, what pops into my head when you say that, is while I was going on a spiritual journey, sometimes I hit a roadblock or I hit blocks. And I actually started to do a study of loving myself from the outside in. So when I know many of us know that it's an inside out job, but oftentimes we can hit roadblocks that way, right? Going in is scary. Going in is not that easy to navigate. And I intentionally did a study of loving myself from the outside in. So really taking that time to be diligent about my self-care, my skincare, my looking myself in the mirror every morning and giving myself positive affirmations about my body, That's really what was coming through for me in regards to body and the relationship with my body and this card. Yeah, that's kind of what landed for me.
Okay, I love that. It's just a different way of looking at it from the outside in and just going
Yeah.
into it. Okay, I love that. Thank you. So put in your comments, put in the comments what your takeaway is. So what is your takeaway, Vicky? I know Kim, the first Kim already did put in her takeaway. She said, thank you, Candace and Samantha. Your messages do resonate with me. So that's awesome.
Oh, yay.
All righty. So let's carry on here. Where did I? Oh, so our last one was Meg. So now we have Nikki. And Nikki would love a card for spirit today, please. Okay. All right. So victory breath, celebrate and victorious.
Ooh.
And this is for
nice.
spirit. So this is what spirit is telling you. And so when we have our relationship with spirit, a lot of times they bring us gifts, they bring us messages, they bring us so much value. And then we don't celebrate it, right? Like I'm getting two messages for you at the same time. So one message I'm getting, Nikki, is that getting excited when you're getting signs, getting excited when you know that you're getting intuitive hits and that spirit is really showing up for you. And then also the other part I'm getting is celebrating the part that you feel like. So many times as women, we have goals, and when we accomplish our goals, then we just move on. We don't take the time to celebrate it. And so this is spirit wanting you to celebrate your goals, knowing that your goals are part of your spiritual journey, your spiritual vision. They're bigger than you. They're the spiritual part of what you're offering. But we think it's us, right? We think it's us doing it. And then it creates that little bit of separation between us and spirit. And so this card is really, sorry, I haven't let you had a chance to speak, Samantha, but I just was getting really clear intuitive hit there about celebrating this connection to spirit. And it's almost taking yourself out of it, not thinking that it's like, not believing that it's not you, that it's really coming through spirit. Like when I wrote my book, I can 100% channel spirit. And sometimes I'm reading my book and I go, wow, that's really good shit in there. And it's because I'm not taking responsibility. It's like, I know it came through spirit. And so that's what I'm picking up for you. Go ahead if you have anything else to add.
Yeah, the other thing that came, I definitely resonate with what you're saying, Candace. I think I'm very guilty of not celebrating the wins that come through, from spirit, with spirit's guidance. But the other thing that was coming through for me is spirit loves fun. And I think that in celebration, it really is another outlet for fun. Like, how are you going to have fun with this? How are you going to make this something that is life-giving and joyful and freeing? So I think incorporating that into whatever you're doing in whatever way that you were asking this question and wanting more guidance in spirit, I'm thinking the guidance is, for me, that's coming through is celebrate, but also make it fun. Just have fun.
Yes, 100%. Okay, Jody put in mind, and then she goes, question, how do you differentiate between past relationship trauma and whether you're pushing someone away currently or judging them based on that past trauma, or whether they are in fact true red flags? Does that make sense?
That's a great question. Yeah, I think first and foremost, you chose mine. So I just want to, go ahead.
Oh,
what is the card?
Focal point, vision and gaze.
Great, vision. That's a perfect card. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Where you focus your energy is what you'll attract, right? And the reality that you'll create for your life. It really starts with our beliefs and then our thoughts that lead to our feelings and then our actions and our results, right? So the results are a reflection of our internal belief system. But when you ask it more specifically, that question, I don't think it's a one answer question, or it's not just one answer. So it's like a both and. Yes, there can be trauma in your life that will forevermore be triggered. And it's something that we want to embrace instead of reject or hide or shun away, in fear that it's affecting our relationships. Right. So I use my inner mosaic method to help people embrace all parts of themselves in order to allow the most loving, caring, abundant relationships to unfold in their lives. And then just, I think there's like multiple questions in that question, because you're also asking, like, is this red flag? Should I, like, I think it's also coming back to trusting yourself that, yes, one, I can be triggered in my relationships, and I trust myself not to react from that place of trauma. But I can notice that I am triggered, and I can still choose the way that I respond to certain situations. And then two, I am trusting myself to know, using my intuition as well as my mind, that in some ways, these can be red flags from your partner, right? Like that they're exhibiting, one of the most common ones right now is narcissistic behavior. I hear that so frequently, but many times it's misdiagnosed or miscategorized, because there's actually not that many narcissists in the world that than what people are saying. But it is good to be aware, right? It's just good to be aware of the way that you're relating to one another. I know that with my husband, we dealt with an addiction in our marriage, and he hid an addiction from me for 10 years. So I was also, the only way that you can transform a relationship is really going within and transforming yourself, the part of you that's showing up and calling in that type of a relationship, calling in that type of experience, right? You're not responsible for it, but we are calling in all of our experiences at any given moment.
Yeah.
So,
and what I'm really
hearing, that's a long explanation, but
yeah, what I'm really hearing you saying is that, or what I'm picking up is that, because of our past trauma in relationships, then we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust our intuition. And that's where doing the work, doing your inner work, coming back to your center, coming back to your intuition, and then allowing yourself to trust that intuition and trust, that no, this is a good guy, or no, this isn't. Yeah.
Yeah. And the I guess the ironic thing, the serendipitous thing, is I think you picked the mind card, but I think the key here is what you're saying, Candace, is to go back to your intuition and come from that knowledge, come from that space of trust. And it isn't something that you need to discern through your mind. It's something that you need to discern through your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your heart and your intuition. Yeah. Spirit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. I hope that helps, Jody. Put in the comments what your takeaway is. All right. So we'll just do a couple more. So we have Jill for body, wheel pose, cycles and change for body.
Oh, yes. I believe that we all go through seasons. That's what I call it. Not just in our body, but in life. We each have our own types of seasons and cycles. In our body, it's very clear sometimes when you're going through a cycle as women. But I think it is a discernment tool to recognize the other cycles and the other seasons that you're having in your life. So letting your body be your guide, because I think that was the card. I mean, that was the topic she picked, right? Is body.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So letting your body be your guide into figuring out the rest of your seasons in the other areas of life. That's what I'm getting.
I love that. All right. I hope that resonated, Jill. And so we're going to do Leslie now. And again, I just want to remind everybody to please, you're invited to my next free masterclass. It's on Tuesday, January 11th at 12 noon Mountain Time. So sign up. The link will be in the bio in my link tree on Instagram right after this call, and it's in the chat or the comments here. Actually, I probably could put it in the chat. Let's do a general card for Leslie. Victory breath. So we got this twice.
Ooh.
So quite often this is just a reminder for the collective. So when I get repetitive cards, I know it's not just for the people we're pulling it for, but it's for everybody. So it's time for all of us to celebrate our win and our connections to spirit and the messages that are coming from spirit. So what are you picking up from this?
Oh yeah, I think it's it's I guess what I'm downloading right now, and because this card is for the collective, it's so common for us to do and then celebrate. And I have learned from spiritual law, spiritual teaching, that the celebration doesn't have to come after the win. The celebration actually comes first. Like, let's celebrate the things that we would love to bring to life in 2022. Like, here's the time to celebrate it. It's not at the end of the year when everything has happened or not happened. It's now. It's right here, right now in January, where we celebrate all the things that we would love to welcome into our lives. That's really what's coming through for me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my fur baby's saying hi.
And because of all of our experiences are just our experiences for our greater good, celebrate all of them, whether you perceive them as good or bad, celebrate all of them.
Oh, absolutely. I love that. Yes, that's a beautiful reminder that everything's happening for our highest and best good, whether we can recognize it now or recognize it later. So yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so good. So how can everybody get in touch with you and stay connected with you, Samantha, and your dog?
Yeah. I mean, you can absolutely follow me here on Instagram or Facebook. Those are absolutely ways that you can connect. But the best way, I think, right now is my website, which is the Gems. So the TheGems.com, thegems.com. I'm also giving away a free ebook. So if you go to my website, you can download a free ebook on the ultimate guide of living a balanced life. So if anyone's curious on my key tools, tips, and tricks to living a balanced life, you can go ahead and connect with me there.
Okay, and we'll put it in the comments. We'll put the link to your website in the comments.
Perfect.
Yeah, and they can go grab that. All right, well, thank you so much for being here. This was really fun, and I am really grateful for your support today because I don't know if you jumped on later, but I actually found out yesterday that I have COVID, and so I am working today, and then I cleared out the rest of my schedule because I thought I breezed through it with being vaccinated, but I'm not. You tell by the flush like I'm feverish. So have a great day, everybody. Have a great week. And again, please register right now for my next free masterclass, which is on January 11th at 12 noon. And the link is in the comments. So have a great day, everybody. And I will be back next week. Namaste. Just a minute.
There we go.